Imagine standing in a courtroom and staring at the man you have been married to for 10 years, knowing that the document in the judge's hands will ruin your entire life. That identical horror became a cold, inevitable reality when official medical records were made public and one terrible decision was made. Mendices is not Skylar's biological father. The findings of a confirmed DNA test indicate that Michael Adusei is her biological father. The room went into total shock as Yandy Smith collapsed to the ground, literally crumbling under the weight of the truth she had repressed for years. This was not a last-minute mistake. In court, it was discovered that Yandy and Michael had a parallel life, a secret romance that began long before her broadcast marriage to Mendices and continued covertly under his roof for years. The foundation of a house built entirely on lies included deliberate dishonesty, late-night hotel meetings, and encrypted communications. And the last betrayal was captured on a horrifying audio clip of a scared voice admitting the truth. He'll never be able to find out. If he finds out, it's all over. That mystery is now officially dead, and the truth has begun. To truly understand the extent of this catastrophe, you need to look at the exact instant the judge unsealed the sealed file and the courtroom doors locked. The moment the lawyer presented the forensic paternity report, the atmosphere in the courtroom shifted. Court processes are typically mechanical, bureaucratic, and chilly. This was not a television stunt, a reality show plot, or an online rumor made for social media engagement. This legally binding document contains sworn affidavits, chains of custody, and verified test findings. When the court read the genetic match percentage out loud, a 99 was legally confirmed. Fitness instructor Michael Adusei of London has a 9% probability of becoming a father. The vibe in the room faded. Mendices gazed blankly at the legal documents that instantly shattered his identity as the biological father of the child he had raised, protected, and cherished from birth. He sat still, stuck in a state of total immobility. Yandy Smith lost her balance and fell to the ground due to the psychological and physical ramifications of having her long-kept secret exposed to the judge and courtroom staff. That courtroom scene was merely the dramatic end of a dishonest, multi-year narrative. The reason this specific expose is so catastrophic is that it completely rewrites the public history of Yandy and Mendices' whole marriage. The audience was shown a picture-perfect story of undying commitment for over a decade, supporting a partner through challenging legal proceedings, federal prison sentences, and intense media coverage. But beneath that beautiful, well-publicized exterior was a dark, well-kept secret. According to court records and supporting statements, Yandy's relationship with Michael Adusei did not begin as a transient mistake or a desperate move at a trying period in her marriage. It began long before she swore Mendices' eternal faithfulness, said her vows, and walked down the aisle. It wasn't by accident that she met Michael Adusei. He continued to play a steady role in the background, while the rest of the world watched Yandy establish herself as the ultimate devoted wife and matriarch. The methods used to run this parallel life for such a long time are incredibly precise and well thought out. A clear pattern of covert operations can be seen when looking at the information provided during the court hearings. Events involving well-known celebrities, corporate trips overseas, and private travel to Europe were often employed as simple smokescreens to allow for secret meetings without calling attention to themselves. Yandy was allegedly managing a second, entirely distinct personal life while Mendicino was busy with his own legal obligations, taking care of family issues, and building a secure future. To ensure that no digital trace could ever be linked to her residence, strict timing constraints, extra mobile devices, and encrypted messaging programs were utilized. Across international borders, late-night get-togethers were planned in remote hotel suites that were inaccessible to friends, relatives, and photographers. There was more to Michael Adusei than a fleeting distraction. He was discreetly incorporated into her daily routine for years, keeping in close contact and receiving personal guarantees in private. The unanticipated finding of this chronology caused Mendicino far more pain than the real betrayal. Imagine going back over every holiday, significant family event, and intimate memory from the past 10 years of your life, and finding that every single one of them was founded on a purposeful lie. Mendicino had devoted his life to building a lasting legacy, shielding his wife from ongoing public criticism, and providing Skylar with all of his fatherly care. Finding out in a cold courtroom that your daughter's biological identity belongs to a different guy. A man who was secretly there for your entire marriage is a devastating emotional blow. The betrayal stole his pride, his trust, and his identity as a family guy in a single statement. All of his sacrifices for his family, his personal moments of faith, and his public defenses were all undone. His life's foundation was demolished, and he was left by himself with the cold paper on the desk. Now that the truth was out, there was no going back. After the repercussions from the courtroom disclosure faded, the public had to confront an even darker side of this affair. The horrifying evidence that this was not an inadvertent mistake but a planned, frightened cover-up. One of the legal exhibits that accompanied the forensic DNA results was a high-definition audio clip that was leaked and caused everyone to tremble. In faint, shaking tones, a woman's unmistakable, distraught voice can be heard begging an unnamed acquaintance to keep the secret hidden at all costs. He'll never be able to find out. If he finds out, it's all over. These precise words echoed around the room, offering indisputable proof that the deception was completely intentional. Paternity was neither disputed nor unknown in this instance. This was an intentional attempt to conceal a child's true biological lineage from the father who was actively raising her. The recording exposed the crippling terror that pervaded Yandy's private life for years, showing that every public declaration of love, anniversary post, and red carpet smile was carried out under continual fear of being discovered. Mendices's psychological suffering reached a horrifying peak when details of an anonymous text message that was sent directly to his personal phone a few days before the formal court filing surfaced. Quiet murmurs and subtle warnings had been spreading around elite social circles for months, but Mendices had consistently dismissed them as malicious attempts to sabotage the peace within his family. That complacency was brutally shattered when a single untraceable message with the horrifying words, "You deserve to know the real truth," arrived on his screen. Attached to the mail were preliminary digital receipts, flight itineraries with timestamps, and private letters that blatantly contradicted Yandy's official locations throughout key dates of their marriage. This revelation was extremely unsettling since it revealed that members of their inner circle, people who regularly sat at their dinner table, attended their children's birthday celebrations, and celebrated their accomplishments, were allegedly fully aware of the secret all along. Mendices was surrounded by a complicated wall of silence, and as everyone else silently watched the clock ticking down to total destruction, he felt alone in his belief that his marriage was strong. To fully comprehend the extent of this operation, one must examine the meticulous paper trail that Michael Adusei himself maintained over several years. Michael had nothing when he entered the courtroom. In order to thwart any attempt at denial, he brought with him an indestructible collection of letters, digital documents, and verified electronic signatures. The evidence showed a sophisticated sequence of secret communications that set up meetings without raising red flags by using code names, extra cell accounts, and encrypted messaging apps. According to court records, Michael maintained these diaries as a sort of personal insurance, ensuring he had the exact records needed to prove his paternity in court in the event that his involvement in Skylar's life was ever permanently erased. Comprehensive location logs, photo information, and private payment transactions indicate that these were not random, isolated encounters but rather a systematic, recurring relationship maintained over multiple years and international countries. Every piece of evidence used against Yandy completely undermined her defenses, and her legal team was left without a practical strategy to combat the overwhelming weight of physical and digital evidence. Watching the narrative of his entire life disintegrate in real time left Mendices with an unbearable emotional blank. He had to acknowledge that the lady he had defended was primarily to blame for his public and private humiliation. The woman who helped him through his worst legal issues, however, possessed a secret that could destroy his soul. More pain was created than any jail sentence by the knowledge that every tender father-daughter moment, every late-night comfort, and every joyful accomplishment with Skylar was intertwined with an undeniable lie. He lost his identity as the loving spouse, the biological father, and the head of the household in one afternoon. An embarrassing masterclass in betrayal replaced the carefully constructed family brand, the legacy of reality television, the corporate endorsements, and the dynasty they had established together, leaving Mendices standing alone amid the debris. As word of the trial hearings filtered via all major media channels and blogs, the public narrative shifted from shock to rigorous forensic investigation. As soon as possible, ardent love and hip-hop fans returned to the archives to revisit hundreds of hours of earlier TV programs, radio appearances, and red carpet interviews from a different angle. Conflicts and scenarios that seemed like ordinary reality programs suddenly took on lethal new meanings. Body language experts and fan detectives began pinpointing the exact moments when Yandy's small facial gestures betrayed her underlying terror whenever the topic of London or overseas job journeys was mentioned on camera. Videos of Mendices praising his wife's unwavering loyalty surfaced, intercut with times of subtle awkwardness where Yandy avoided directly addressing questions about her origins. Online detectives turned the comment sections into a battleground of receipts by using social media posts from years ago to compare Yandy's public itinerary with Michael Adusei's location tags in New York and Atlanta. Millions of viewers were breaking down the illusion frame by frame, feeling personally tricked by a marriage they had engaged in for over a decade. Beyond the chaos on social media, one's career and income were immediately and catastrophically impacted by this betrayal. Yandy and Mendices have spent years building a multi-million-dollar business based only on the values of resilience, family togetherness, and steadfast marital loyalty. They were marketed as the ultimate power couple and were able to get lucrative corporate partnerships, brand ambassadorships, and television deals thanks to their strong, cohesive front. That empire collapsed in a matter of hours. Corporate sponsors withdrew silently because they were reluctant to associate their products with an issue marked by systemic dishonesty, deceit, and paternity fraud. Joint enterprises came to a halt as legal teams scrambled to protect assets and settle common financial obligations. Together, they built a lucrative but fundamentally poisonous enterprise, rapidly transforming their once respected reputations into a cautionary tale about greed and dishonesty. Yandy was no longer seen as the clever, savvy talent manager and devoted wife. She was thought to be the mastermind of an unacceptable ruse that ruined her husband's life and embarrassed her child in public. Beyond contracts being lost and reputations being damaged, this paternity disclosure has extensive legal ramifications. Reversing paternity claims and changing birth certificates after years of parental upbringing is a legal nightmare. Michael Adusei's formal petition for full parental rights, visitation schedules, and legal custody presents the court with a difficult and complex issue. Because Mendices was the legally recognized father on file, raising Skylar, providing financial support, and fostering an unbreakable parental bond, the psychological trauma to the kid is exceedingly severe. Courts now have to deal with the sensitive and terrible reality of a biological father seeking his proper position, after years of covert absence against a father who gave his whole soul to a child who is not related to him. Mendices is stuck in a terrible legal maze, fighting for a child he loves while having to deal with the fact that every step of the legal process requires him to face the person who destroyed his home. Ultimately, Mendices finds himself at the most painful turning point in his adult life, having to search through the debris of a marriage that never truly took place. How does a man accept that everything in his life was a well-constructed illusion after 10 years of devotion? If he chooses to cut all links and leave Yandy, he will also have to deal with the agonizing possibility of losing daily touch with the girl he raised as his own. If he stays to maintain stability in his household, he commits himself to staring at the woman who tricked him every morning, knowing that her loyalty, secrets, and heart belong to someone else. The trust is completely dead, the damage is irreparable, and the legacy is forever shattered. Mendices understands that the greatest enemy he has ever faced is lying next to him every night, not in a courtroom or on the streets, as he stands in the cold solitude of an abandoned house. As our in-depth analysis of this ongoing story draws to a close, it's important to take a step back and look at the big picture. We would like to emphasize that this movie and all of its content were created purely for public commentary and entertainment. We have no intention of demeaning, denouncing, invading, or attacking the real private lives of those involved in these public storylines. Behind closed doors, away from the flashing cameras and headlines, each participant in these conversations is a real person navigating extremely complicated, delicate, and challenging real-world issues. Our primary goal on this channel is to provide an open, engaging space where you, our audience, can politely share your ideas, theories, and unique perspectives on hot media topics. Your opinions on these situations and the lessons you learn from these well-known stories would be greatly appreciated. The key elements of entertainment are informed debate, healthy discourse, and critical thinking among spectators. The microphone is now yours. How do you truly feel about the outcome of this entire situation? Is public scrutiny an inevitable part of being in the spotlight? Or do you think prominent personalities should only handle these matters in private? Please use the space provided for comments below to express your thoughts, opinions, and courteous observations. We truly appreciate all of your responses, which we have read. If you enjoyed this in-depth analysis and would want to be updated on the latest pop culture comments and analysis, please click the like button right now. To ensure you never miss an upload, don't forget to turn on the notification bell and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you watching, and I ask that you send this movie to a friend.